My name is Christina, and I've always been interested in paranormal things. I've read about demons and mythology, mostly because my family has always had a hand in it. My aunt is a fortune teller and a very intelligent and wealthy businesswoman. She has always told me that everyone should live by the rule of karma and never deal with black magic, only white. But well, I was a teenager then, 17 or 18, so I made some new friends who all believed in Satan, and we did weird rituals and so on. Nothing totally mad, but well, black candles and creepy Latin spells. One of my friends bought me a pack of tarot cards, and I was the happiest person on the planet, and I indeed became the black magic fortune teller for my friends. But after a year, I started having scary nightmares about a weird creature who grabbed my hands and always screamed in my dreams,
"Get away!"
I, of course, ignored the dream, and again it was Friday night, and my friends came over and wanted me to read their future. So I did. We sat in the living room, and I lit the candles, and we sat in a dark room, as we've done many times before. There'd been a couple of incidents in the past where I read the cards, and as I read, I started to have a nosebleed. That happened for 8 or 9 times over a year, but I didn't think anything of it. So as I was telling my friend about her future, I saw that she had a scared look in her eyes, and I felt indeed that my nose was again bleeding, but this time it was bleeding heavily. So she asked me,
"Are you okay? Maybe we should stop for today."
As she was talking, I felt a strong pain in my head, and the lights in the other rooms all went out. My friend was screaming in fear and stood up. I stood up too, and we went to the other room to check. All the lamps were all broken. At that point, my nose was still bleeding, and the pain in my head made me cry a little. I closed my eyes for a second, and the next moment I woke up, and 2 of my friends looked at me in horror. I was lying on the floor, and my head was aching so badly. It seems that I passed out, and I had to go to the hospital. I had a concussion. Nothing that bad, but after that day, I started to feel sad, and I had nightmares every night. All my nightmares were about all the sad things that had happened to me, and then there were some strangers, weird killings, horrors, basically everything bad that happens in this world. I had to see it every time when I closed my eyes. My appetite was gone, and sometimes I just didn't want to sleep. I threw my cards in the trash because I thought that maybe it was because of the black magic and because I was playing with those cards all the time. Still nothing. Nightmares still haunted me. Already for a month, and I became like a zombie, skinny, pale, and with sleepy eyes. My friends told me that they were worried, and it wasn't like me to be all sad and depressed. I was one of the happiest and funniest in the gang anyway. I was tired, sad, and in the end, I didn't speak with any of them. My mother sent me to a psychologist, and they prescribed some antidepressant pills for me. I started seeing the visions in the nightmares even when I was awake, and that was the point where I started to believe that I was mentally deranged, or well, ill. One of the nightmares that I started having, it didn't matter if I was awake or asleep, it just started playing like a movie, was about a girl who got into a stranger's car, and well, later she was murdered. But I saw every detail and felt every emotion that this girl felt. One of the things that I saw was when her teeth were pulled out with pincers, and at that moment my gums started to bleed. One day, I was sitting at home, having a bad headache, and again, my nightmares just haunted me, when my phone rang, and it was my aunt. Her voice was very worried.
"Is everything okay with you?"
You see, I didn't communicate with my aunt that much. Last time we spoke was about 2 years ago, so I was surprised that she called, or well, that she even had my number. She didn't know about the fact that I had tarot cards, or that I was interested in black magic. Yeah, I'm a little ill at the moment, but everything is okay. How's everything with you?
Everything is okay, but I had the scariest dream about you. And I felt like I had to call you.
What did you see?
I was in a weird underground cold cave and a creature was laughing. He looked at me in the eye and told me that you should be careful with Christina. Satan himself is very interested in her.
I ended the call and went to take a bath. I almost fell asleep there and woke up coughing water. As I said, I felt like a zombie. That evening, when I went to bed, I felt extremely tired, sad, and angry. I took my antidepressant pill and went to sleep. Those pills that I was on were very dangerous. They told me that I can only take half of a pill, not more. So after the pill was taken, it was time to sleep. In the middle of the night again, someone called me. It was my mother. At the time, she lived in Moscow, so we didn't communicate that much. I answered, and she told me the same story that my aunt told me. Well, almost the same. She told me that Satan will take you away. I told my mother that everything is okay and I will talk with you in the morning. In all honesty, I started to freak out a little, as it was hard for me to go back to sleep. But after an hour, I fell asleep and had the weirdest dream of all. I was in Moscow, in my mother's apartment. I saw how she was sleeping, so peacefully, but suddenly she woke up and looked straight to the ceiling. I was watching her from there, and she had panic and fear in her eyes. She took her phone and called someone. "Pick up! Please! Please! Please!" As she was calling, I hear a phone ringing from somewhere, but where? I don't know, and it was also weird for me. I heard my heartbeat, but it was weird, very slow, and then fast, and again slow. I was still with my mother, and suddenly the phone stopped ringing. I think it was mine, but I wasn't sure. The longer I was watching my mother, the more I started thinking that this all didn't feel like a dream, or, well, a nightmare. She was now calling someone else from her apartment, and she started to fade away. Now I was in a forest. The grass was very wet, and I looked at my legs. Usually when I see myself in a dream, I'm always beautiful, or well, or everything is scary. But when I was looking at my legs, I had the same socks and the same pants that I had on when I went to sleep. Everything felt peaceful, and I started walking. I saw a sunshine in the end of the forest, and I felt the need to walk that way. An old woman stopped me, and she was looking at me kind of funny. I wasn't scared, but it all felt like I was dead or something. "The name, lady?" she demanded. "Christina." She blinks a couple times, and then with a loud voice told me, "You shall go there. You shall see that rock over there on the left. Sit there and wait." "Wait for what?" "For the decision. Asking for the answers or creating questions never brings peace, and may even bring about the end or the change of the future for some. So, sit." I was so lost, but I sat and waited for I don't know what. A creature, the same one from my first nightmare, the one who told me to go away, sat next to me. Even though he was scary, I felt pretty good sitting next to him.
"Greetings, my human. I'm Samael, the guardian of your soul."
This can't be real.
But still, a part of you believes. Do you remember the times when I came?
I only remember 2 times. The one where you screamed in my head when I was 7 to run. That was when I survived a burning car that was heading my way from the top of a hill. The other time was when I almost died in a lake. You told me to stay calm and told me how to act and what to do. I fell into a weird underwater well and my leg was stuck. Thanks to you, I survived. Am I in danger?
Yes.
He told me that one of the spells that we did with friends that we got from the internet was a so-called killing spell. Over time, it makes a person weak and stupid, and they start doing bad things. Also, it brings very bad energies and ghosts near you that all feed on your energy. It comes out that when I was asleep, I was possessed by someone who haunted me for many months, and I took 14 antidepressant pills without realizing it. When I was talking with my guardian angel in my dream, I was actually dying. In the hospital, they pumped my stomach. I died for a moment, and I was in bad shape for a couple of days. I survived, but I had serious heart problems for 2 years. After that, I'm more spiritual in a way, but in a good way. I don't read people's futures. I don't search for spells on the internet. I'm not interested in black magic, and I always listen to my inner voice or my so-called guardian who has saved me many times over. Oh, and the doctor who thought that I needed antidepressant pills was fired because it came out that I actually didn't need them, and they were not pills that you should give an underage person.